Sup everybody, how's everybody doing? So today I'm going to be chatting about my boy Khamzat Chimaev again. I know it's so weird because one of the ways that I know that Khamzat Chimaev is literally one of the UFC's next biggest superstars is that my channel isn't as big as I want it to be yet because I just started recently, and eventually I do know I'll have a pretty big channel within this mixed martial arts space. However, anytime I post a video on Khamzat, typically the viewership is so much higher than anything else. The dude honestly has a huge fan base worldwide already, and he hasn't even cracked the top 10 yet. Now that doesn't have anything to do with the video. I just kind of thought I would share that. I want to talk a little bit. Am I recording? 48, 49. I always have to check if I'm recording. So a couple of things before we actually get into the video. Everybody can see the title. I have to keep on repeating this every single time I make a Khamzat video because not everybody has seen my previous videos. There's always new people checking out my channel, my videos. My prediction is that Khamzat Chimaev becomes the UFC welterweight champion by or in 2023. So by or in 2023, what does that mean? That means either he's becoming champion this year by 2023 or in 23 means next year. This year, next year, I think he's going to become welterweight champion. That's my prediction. All right, everybody's got their own predictions. That's mine. I also have a prediction that Kamaru Usman will retire around the same time this year or next year. I'm actually starting to think that Kamaru's going to retire this year now, but it's a separate topic. Now, recently, one of the things I had in my previous Khamzat video is that I've been kind of thinking, like, why hasn't he had a fight booked yet? Because typically he's the type of guy who's claimed that he wants fights all the time, consistently. Now, obviously, at the highest level, you can't really do that. When you're fighting people in the top 5, you can't fight every 10 days or every 2 weeks or something. That's a big risk at that point. Who knows? Maybe he's crazy enough to pull it off, but typically we don't see that type of stuff happening. You need full training camps because of the type of competition that you're dealing with now. So I was always like, why hasn't he fought someone yet? We're still waiting on this, like what's going on, etc., etc. And now we're kind of getting a little bit more of an idea. Like, he's been tweeting a lot. I saw recently he's been tweeting about Bilal Muhammad, other people. He still says stuff about Conor and this and that. He makes some stuff. Now recently he retweeted this, which is why I'm making the video, because I don't like this idea. I do not like this idea. Gilbert Burns, tweeted, "Make it happen, Dana White. I'm all in. 5 rounds in Brazil versus the Wolf. Let's grapple, blah, blah, blah." He tags Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat actually retweeted this, and, it's a cool picture of them. Photoshop. I'm going to say this right now. This is not a good idea. Okay? If I was Khamzat's manager, Khamzat's manager probably doesn't have control over him like this, because Khamzat seems like the type of guy who wants to make his own decisions. But if I was his manager, I'd be like, look, or screw that. Let's not even talk about if I was his manager or not. Let's just say I'm going to give my opinion on this. And I'm going to tell you why. Gilbert Burns right now is ranked number 2 in the UFC welterweight division. I would much prefer that Khamzat fights someone right outside the top 5 next, and then someone in the top 5 after that. That's my idea of how he should kind of do things. We've seen it in the UFC before, people like Darren Till and a couple other people where you kind of rush them a little bit too quick and it doesn't work out. Now, one can argue, oh, well, it didn't work out because he wasn't good enough. You can make that argument, but you can also say that there's also something to be said about the idea of having someone build their way up, have consistent training camps, feel out the next guy, feel out the next guy, feel out the next guy, feel how it is to fight someone number 8, then feel number 5, then feel you're working your way up slowly, and having a training camp every single time where you're improving, and every time you win, you're gaining confidence. There's something to be said about that. So somebody can say, oh, if you give Khamzat number 2 and he doesn't win, well, that just shows he's not good enough. No, I don't really like that argument, because I think that you should be able to build the person up to get to that level, right? Like, people don't just come into the UFC at their top, right? Like, Conor McGregor, when he fought Marcus Brimage, was different than the Conor McGregor who fought Eddie Alvarez. Those are not the same Conors, okay? The one that fought Eddie Alvarez is substantially better. What else do I want to say? Who else can I say? The Francis Ngannou who first came into the UFC on his debut is not the same as the Francis Ngannou now. Israel Adesanya very good example. Who first fought in the UFC is totally different than the Izzy who's fighting right now. You can't even compare them. It's the same thing. Now, another thing that people might say is, oh, you don't want him to fight Gilbert because you're protecting him. You want him to have a protected career. Yes and no. Okay, I'm going to bite the bullet on that and say yes and no. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I'm completely trying to protect him because of my predictions, but a little bit. When somebody's a prospect, you have to be really careful about it, because you guys have to think about it like this. If Khamzat Chimaev becomes who we think he can be, dude, we're going to have entertaining title fight after title fight after title fight. But to get to that point where we are entertained as fans, you have to make sure that the development is slow enough where you don't push him too fast and then the star power gets killed and he loses confidence and he spirals into a losing streak, right? What you want is him to build himself up and then become champion, which I'm predicting, and then have him defend his title and then maybe move up, defend his title, maybe challenge the middleweight title. That's what you want as a fan. Not, oh, if he loses to number 2, that means he wasn't good enough. Who wants that, right? Maybe if you hate Khamzat Chimaev, you want that. I don't want that. So if you look at the rankings, where's the rankings? Look, he's ranked number 11, okay? How does it make any sense to have him fight number 2? Okay, whether or not he could beat him, because my issue is this. Gilbert Burns is a really tough fight for anybody in the welterweight division, okay? Gilbert Burns has a very high finishing rate. We all know this, right? He's won 14 out of 20 via finish. Really good on the ground, and his striking is good too. The dude has knockout power. He's good with his hands. He's quick. He's got pretty good conditioning, and he's very comfortable off his back in the grappling sense. Now think about it. That's a stylistic matchup that's not exactly favorable to Khamzat. That doesn't mean that Khamzat can't beat Gilbert. That just means that Gilbert's a tough style matchup for someone like this. Because think about it. Khamzat says he's going to take him down and try to submit him, which would be insane, but that's risky, right? You can get caught in a submission fighting Gilbert like that. And if he tries to stab with Gilbert, that's not easy either. Not easy, right? Because Gilbert's not just someone you're going to roll over. His striking is pretty good, right? His hands are pretty good. So striking hard and grappling really hard. Grappling, which is Khamzat's strength. You know, you're going into a position where you're fighting someone like Gilbert who's going to be really tough to grapple with. 8 submissions, 4 knockouts for Gilbert. For me, I would much prefer if he would... I've been saying this since the beginning. Just get him the Neil Magny fight. I don't know what is stopping them from doing it, but to me, this is what I think. You fight Neil Magny next. You fight number 8. Magny, who's been in the division for a long time. Solid challenge. Pretty well-rounded. Good challenge. If Khamzat runs through him, put him against anybody in the top 5 at that point. But think about it. He gets experience. He gets another fight. He gets another training camp. If he just goes against Gilbert Burns next, dude, that is like a hard fight and you're jumping all the way. Sorry about that. I gotta take a sip of water. I'm talking and rambling too much so my throat starts getting dry. Such is the life making videos. Let's start recording. 8 minutes, yes. So, if he beats Neil Magny, great. Now you give him someone in the top 5 next. He's built some confidence. I would even prefer that he fights Bilal Muhammad, for example, next, instead of Gilbert. Bilal Muhammad's a little bit of a different style matchup. Grappler heavy. And if you look at Bilal Muhammad, very heavy on the decisions. So, Bilal Muhammad is a very hard fight. Not an easy fight for anybody in the division. But it's primarily a grappler. Bilal Muhammad's striking is decent, and you know, it's still a good matchup, right? If you beat Bilal Muhammad, great, you go wherever you want with him, but it's a little bit more manageable. Gilbert's a different story, right? Because again, off his back, Gilbert's dangerous. Striking, he's dangerous. And again, I'm not saying that you should protect him from Gilbert. I'm not saying that don't have him fight Gilbert. My point is have Khamzat fight someone like Neil Magny next. If you want to give him Bilal Muhammad next, top 5 guy. I was gonna say Stephen Thompson, but the issue with Stephen Thompson is that I kind of feel bad because Stephen Thompson's coming off 2 losses to Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad, 2 kind of grapplers, you could say. To give Stephen Thompson another grappler, I would actually pick Khamzat to beat Stephen. It's like, can we just give Stephen Thompson a little bit of a break? again, if they give him Stephen Thompson, okay, awesome. But for me, it's like I kind of feel bad for the guy. Wonder Boy, he's so nice. It's like give the dude like a give the dude someone else. Just give him a strike or something, right? Like he's coming towards the end of his career. Give him somebody else. Masvidal's book with Colby. Vicente Luque, again, you're going into the top 4 now, within the top 5. Leon Edwards, I suspect, is fighting Kamaru next. That's kind of what they're saying. You can give him Chiesa next, but if they want, that's good. Sean Brady, that's an option. Neil Magny's an option. Thompson, I don't love it, but whatever. Even Bilal Muhammad, screw it, give him Bilal Muhammad. We can do that. But Gilbert Burns, and here's the thing. People are going to think like, oh, you're protecting Khamzat, but think about this. Any other division, let's look at this. People will be like, oh, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Lightweight's a little bit unique because it's crazy stacked, but okay. If we said for Rafael Fiziev, who had a good last win against Brad Riddell, if I remember correctly, if we're like, oh, let's give him Dustin Poirier, number 11, like Khamzat fighting number 2, like Gilbert Poirier. Everyone would be like, yo, that's crazy. You can't do that. Like, you gotta work your way up. Like, even if you think Fiziev is a prospect, have him work his way up, build himself up, and do it like that. Imagine middleweight. Middleweight's a little bit weaker, but I mean, Brad Tavares fighting Marvin Vettori, jumping all that. Like, who's gonna say that? Everybody would say that's crazy. That doesn't make sense. Tai Tuivasa fighting Stipe Miocic. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that my point is. My God, man, the women's featherweight division, literally no rankings. That's hilarious. By the way, did you guys see this? Where is this? Right here. Where is it? Dylan Dennis. If Francis Ngannou beats Cyril Gane, I'll give one person who likes this tweet $1,000. God, how far Dylan Dennis has fallen is just... It's honestly sad at this point, to be quite honest. Anyways, let's get back to the point. My point is this. I am not trying to protect him from someone. I'm not saying that Khamzat can't beat Gilbert. But to me, it's better to have someone work their way up. Fight somebody next. Fight Neil Magny next. If you win that, or fight Sean Brady, or fight Bilal Muhammad, you win that, then you fight someone in the top 3 or top 5, whatever. That's the way I would like to see it. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable. Of course, part of it is that I want to see him moved up in a certain way because I believe he has the potential to be champion, and I would like him to be champion because there's a lot of entertaining stuff you could do. I love Kamaru as champion, but his time is coming to an end. I think that this year, next year, Kamaru's retired. We need someone to fill his, take the title afterwards, and Colby would be great to have as champion, but Khamzat would be great to have as champion as well. Someone who could fight consistently, move up and down, his personality, his dominance, his popularity. I just want it done the right way. That's all I'm saying. You want to fight Neil Magny next and fight Gilbert Burns after? Do it. You want to fight Bilal Muhammad and then Gilbert Burns after? Go ahead, do it. But to fight Gilbert Burns next, I would not recommend that because I think he needs to get as many training camps as he can before he starts fighting those people. That's pretty much my thoughts, I guess you could say, on the Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns potential situation. Again, I'm hoping that they give him somebody else. I don't know what the UFC's thinking, right? We still don't know who's going to fight. I hope it's somebody else, but that's pretty much my thoughts on that. So like the video if you liked it and subscribe for more content like this. As you can see, I have a different sort of style in the way I make these videos compared to maybe other people in the mixed martial arts community. I have a different style, obviously. So I like to do reaction, commentary, stuff like that. That's how I like to do things. So like the video, subscribe for more content similar to this. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.